Happy to see you here. Chancellor Stocker, good to have you here. Minister President Diependale, ladies and gentlemen, it is good to be back with you for indeed the third time here at the European Industry Summit. Last year, at the beginning of the new mandate, I came to share our agenda. It is shaped indeed by the Draghi and Letta report. It is headlined by the Competitiveness Compass, which is the translation of the Draghi and Letta report into milestones. One core element is the Clean Industrial Deal, our joint plan for decarbonisation and competitiveness. And the year since, we have rolled up our sleeves, and the results are starting to show. So let me begin with the good news. We more than doubled investments in industrial transitions from 52 billion euros in 2024 to 115 billion in 2025. We already made proposals to cut administrative costs for companies by 15 billion euros every year. We launched a 1.8 billion euro battery booster to scale up European battery manufacturing. We concluded new trade deals and approved 60 new projects for critical raw materials to ensure secure supply for European industry. These are just a few examples, and of course more has to be on its way and more is on its way. You demand real change, faster, and Europe is changing but has to speed up further. So we must go faster. Because I know that, and you described it just, the global pressure on you is growing even more. We have all seen the news coming from here in Antwerp and elsewhere in Europe. And I must say, whenever I hear about an investment leaving Europe and about a factory at risk of closing, my first thought goes to the workers and the families who might lose a vital source of income. But I also think about what it means for Europe as a whole. Your industry is the industry of industries. The energy, the steel, the chemicals you produce underpin entire value chains. The technologies you develop are vital to Europe's independence. So together we must secure your future in our continent, and therefore again, thank you for the invitation. Europe has a lot to offer. We remain frontrunners in many areas of the clean transition. We have built world-class value chains in clean energy, pharmaceuticals, advanced manufacturing, and so much more. But competition is intensifying, and it is sometimes unfair competition. Indeed, we see massive subsidies, state-backed overcapacities, and market distortions. And this makes it increasingly difficult for European industry to compete on a level playing field. China now exports almost twice as much clean tech as we do. And this is not just a trade statistic. It is a signal of where industrial capacity is concentrating and how quickly global market positions can shift. So the urgency could not be greater. We're fighting for our place in the new global economy, and this means together we must make a strong business case for you to choose Europe. Because let me be clear, your future belongs in Europe. So, how can we strengthen the business case for Europe? You need speed, you need scale, power, and new markets to compete in an unrelenting world. Let me start with speed. Speed to expand production and grow. Scale to mobilize more investment and attract capital. And power that is abundant and affordable energy. And we need new markets to strengthen and de-risk our supply chains. And these are the priorities I would like to focus on today. Let me start with speed and new markets. In 2025, we conclude a trade agreement with Mexico, Indonesia, actually 280 million people, and Switzerland. And it has been an even faster start to this year. Last month, I signed our trade agreement with Mercosur, a market of 750 million people, and a breakthrough after 25 years of negotiations, and 20% of GDP are covered by this free trade agreement. And 2 weeks ago, I was in India to sign the largest free trade agreement ever, the mother of all deals. A market of 2 billion people, 25% of global GDP. It grants Europe unique access to the fastest growing large economy, a clear first mover advantage for our businesses. And these deals will open new export markets for you and secure your supply of critical minerals. And these are benefits you will feel in your supply chains and on your balance sheets. But as you rightly so said, this is important, but not sufficient. We have also to speed up at home. In a global race, delay means lost investment. Today, it can take longer to permit a new factory than to build it. Energy projects can wait years for approval, even when financing is ready. This must change. And we have started to change it. For instance, with our wind package, it is cutting permitting times by 2/3. We are making grid connections faster, addressing a critical bottleneck for many of you, with tacit approval of permitting now. And we're making business easier and faster across the board, because, as you know, we have set the targets to cut red tape in this mandate by 37 billion euro. That is the equivalent of 25% on the European level. 10 omnibuses are on their way. They are worth 15 billion euro of cuts of red tape every year. So far, so good. But of course, I'm not satisfied, and you are not satisfied with their speed. Because of the 10 omnibuses we proposed last year, only 3 have reached their destination. For the other 7 omnibuses, we count now on the European Parliament and Member States to share the same sense of urgency. And the work on European level will go on. But let me raise another topic, that is looking at the national level. There is too much gold plating. Gold plating is the extra layers of national legislation that just make your life harder and create new barriers in our single market. Let me give you an example. A truck in Belgium can weigh up to 44 tons. But if this truck drives to France and wants to cross the border with France, a border that does not exist anymore, it can only carry up to 40 tons. So 44 tons, 40 tons. In June 2023, we proposed legislation to harmonize this. Almost 2 years later, this is still under discussion by the co-legislators. Another example, shipping waste from one member state to another should be efficient, easy and quick. But different national practices, the gold plating, make it extremely complex. Some member states, for example, only accept correspondence by fax. It can take several months for traders to get green light from the authorities, depending on the different rules of the different member states.